Hi guys, welcome to Factorio Vanilla. This is episode 18. So in the last episode we fixed oil and got that all up and running, and this time we're going to fix a couple of bugs and mistakes and things that have cropped up over time. So as you can see, we've cut off the supply of electricity to this, which means as a result we've cut off the supply of electricity to all of our labs. So all of our research has stopped, which wasn't quite intentional. So let's rectify that by putting a medium power pole there instead. So that's now connected to the power back up. We're also finding that our electricity is capping out, and the reason for that, if I can run over there fast enough. No, I can't quite run over there fast enough because it's actually a little bit further away than I thought it was. But the reason for that is in one of the earlier biter attacks that we suffered, one of our boilers was destroyed, and having been destroyed, which I just realised now we don't actually have the stone to replace, but having been destroyed, it's cut off about a quarter of our potential power generation. So we are going to need more power generation reasonably soon, but we're actually capped at the moment because we're not using 25% of our potential generating capacity. So let's grab that, turn those into boilers, and then run over, and that will solve our power problem for the immediate future. Once we start to get our electric boilers up and running though, that's going to bump our power usage right up, and it will do so quite quickly. So we will need to be generating new sources of electricity fairly soon. Now whether we do that with more steam engines, more boilers, but that's going to run our coal down fairly quickly as well, which if we follow this along, you can't actually see from here, but just over here you can see that our coal supply is depleting fairly quickly on this front, so we're just not mining enough coal either. And obviously long term that means that we're going to run out of power. So let's fill our boiler back in, so it's missing from by there. And now that's done, this whole set is going to start working, which will bring our power back into the green. But as you can see, we're already pushing the boundaries of what we can actually produce. So we're producing between 19 and 20 megawatts of power at the moment, and we're using almost all of it. So sooner rather than later we do have to sort that out. We've got the ability to make solar panels now, so we could start making solar panels. We could start making accumulators to try and queue up our energy and use it later on when we have periods where we don't need quite as much. But the other thing we need to consider is that sooner or later we also want to transition over to laser turrets, because we've now got all the components for that, and obviously that also takes electricity, so whichever way we look at it, we need more power. So how are we going to go about this? That looks like it's an empty... Yep, that's an empty mining drill, so remove that. So this patch is still going strong, but it's not going to last us forever. We need to be aware that in the future we will need to find something to replace it. And we've got this patch further down here, which that's also viable. I will leave the research blank for a second. This patch is also viable. We've also got this rather nice large one up here. That's also potentially usable. And moving further away, we've got things like this which we could bring in by train. So we've got replacements for our coal, but for the time being we're going to manage to struggle on with this, and hopefully as we start to decommission these coal burning furnaces and replace them with electric ones, that will also reduce our demand on the coal, so it will lengthen the amount of time this will last for. So are any of the others of these finished? No, they're still going down slowly, but they are coming down. And as you can see, it's a quite dire situation with our iron supply. We really need to pick that up quickly. One of the things I've done between episodes is I've put this in. So nobody likes being hit by a train, so I've rigged up something fairly basic, which means that when we run in, that gate will fill up, and when we run out, it'll close. It'll drop down again. So that means that, in theory, when the train goes past, we can't enter. And when we enter, the train can't come past. What actually happens is if we leave it long enough, the train will end up ramming into one of these posts, which is not brilliant, but it does keep us alive, which is an important thing. Looks like we've actually run out of all the ore over here as well, so we can decommission this entire area. So that gives more freedom to expand the bus out to the left. And I can see a few pieces of ore in there, so let's just send them through and on their way. So one of the things we want to do at this point is we've still got a big backlog here. We probably want to reverse the order on some of these so that we start feeding in and emptying these out over time. Because once these empty out, we can then put the rest of our main bus running through there. Now, how did that get in there? That shouldn't be there. And again. That was quite strange. But let's take this tree out because it's just getting in the way of me seeing things. We also want to turn this around and grab these last bits from down there so they can also go into, well, they can go into here. So what can we do to put this into use as well? Because we've got at the moment this one's being used but this one isn't. So if we take that up, tell that to place there, and let's grab another chest. So where can this go to really make the best use of this? There you go. These will now slowly empty out. And we can put that piece of belt in as well because we don't need that missing anymore. And these two will slowly fill up these chests here, which we can then do as we please. So in the meantime, we want to get started on making electric furnaces. And what do we need for those? We need steel, which we've got by here. We need advanced circuits, the red circuits, which we've got by here. And we need the stone bricks, which we started to bring in and are coming in from down here somewhere. So let's plumb things in and see what fits. Now I want to keep this side free to an extent because I might want to replace or double this up on in the future. Something is going bang. That's not good. We've got belt and inserters being destroyed somewhere over the right hand side, which means probably we've run out of ammo in one of our turrets, or they're sneaking around somewhere I wasn't expecting. So let's make sure that we don't shoot them with the flamethrower. That would be a bad thing. So I think we need to put some turrets down by here, just to make sure they don't come in again. And it's also a sign that we probably need to go take out these two biter bases, because nothing else is really in range yet. Corner of that maybe, but it's not too bad. And these two are obviously causing problems. But I think if we take out these two, that would be the big one for the time being. But I'm not going to do that just yet. I'll do that when we've got a little bit more breathing space. So can I make a laser turret? Yes, we can. So that can be our first line of defence for here, which we'll never need resupply with ammo then. That's going to take a little while to complete, but let's build a nice little kill box for it as well, so we can stop the biters getting in and damaging it. Now, I might end up moving this slightly because it's going to get in the way with our furnaces, but it will stay by there until we need to move it otherwise. And this is going to need power supply as well, so that can go by there. And we now have one laser turret. Oh, got to remember to replace these as well. And we don't have any normal inserters, but fast will do. So that's that sorted. So we were talking about making electric furnaces. We've got all the bits and pieces we need now. So let's just run quickly across here. See, that pops up when we're in the middle, so we can't be hurt. And I think just the one assembly machine will do the job. We could probably take it straight off the bus there. I think that's achievable. And if we then have an input here, let's just double check what we need. We need 15 steel plates, so we want to have a dedicated line for steel plate. We probably want a dedicated line for stone brick as well, looking at that. So yep, let's have 2 dedicated lines coming in the sides, and then an output at the top. So this can come in from the bottom, tell it to make the electric furnace, and put a medium power pole in. Have we run out of medium power poles again? Looks like we have. So that can go there, there, and over. We can put a chest down to feed it into, and again 2 stacks is probably going to be plenty. So how do we want to bring this in? Actually, that's in a bad spot because that's going to block all the power or all the belts from coming through it. But if we bring in our iron from here, and then we can take it under the batteries and under the red circuits, and we can do a similar thing then with stone from the side. Now it is going to get in the way with this a little bit, but we'll just have to bear with that for a moment. So are we going to use any more on this side? I don't think we are, which means that we can probably bring our stone up through here. We could run along there, but I'd much rather sort of bring it under here instead, and we can connect it up in a moment. So for the meantime, we need to clear this out so we can run some belt down there. I suppose we can actually run the belt down there as we're running down there. And where does that come through? So that would come through by there, which is not ideal. This could pose a problem, but we can work around that in a moment. So if we snip that out, bring this across and up, and don't play on the rails, kids, it's dangerous. But if we just cut this through here for a moment, and where's my underground belt gone? There it is. So we'll have an underground belt going under underground belt. And then we need to replace the walls behind us. So this will run up to here. We've managed to accumulate some logs on the track, which was not brilliant. Now ideally I would run this along and up, but unfortunately that's getting in the way a little bit. And we've still managed to get iron in there somehow. Let's take that out. I wonder where it's coming from. So this one is now empty. So we're starting to be able to take these apart, but it is still a slow process. I'm just thinking for a second, and I'm wondering what we can do to try and improve the situation. Well, first things first, we can build in the start to our boss again. And we're taking damage somewhere. Oh, one of our mining drills being attacked. Which means we now need some defence on the bottom of the factory as well, because that's the first time we've had an attack coming from that side. So, where are you? You're attacking the stone. Well, that was unfortunate. So do I have the facilities to make another laser turret? No, because I'm missing copper. Let's see if I can grab some copper. Copper ore, but that's no good. Actual copper. And I suppose we should start doing some research as well. So we were on the path to robotics. Let's continue that. And again, we can build a little enclosure to protect our turret so the biters can't get anywhere near it. That will take another few seconds, but in the meantime, pop the power pole down. How long do they take? They take 20 seconds. That's not so bad. And we can probably do something with this as well to improve it. There you go. So that can come down. That can go there, and let's put the power pole one space further away. So we've now got a defensive structure looking over this. Do we have a radar anywhere down here? I don't think we do. We could do with one because we don't know how far the biters have crept in this direction. So let's pop that there, and it doesn't really show us anything we hadn't already seen, but it does give us a little bit more advanced warning now. And I'm guessing that's the base that sent the attackers up to us. So we've got some work cut out for us to actually keep on top of these, but that is all manageable at this point. Now, let's go around. Good thing I didn't run over that. Let's go around the train track. And I think for the time being, because I don't want to move this just yet, we will have to send this up and under. So it's a bit of a pain because it means blocking up the interior pathway here. But we'll just have to manage with it for now, and we can move it again later. So that comes up and into there. This comes up and into here. And this will output electric furnaces into there, which has already been capped. So there you go, that's electric furnaces ready to go. So the next step then is deciding, do we want to keep our smelting area by here, or do we want to move it elsewhere and then bring the minerals and the ores in? Because we could always expand it so that we have our main smeltery by here feeding down and onto the bus. That might make more sense because I was expecting these to run out a little bit sooner than they had. So we would have had time to, or room to expand backwards, but that's not been the case. Whereas if we come from up here, one, it gives us a good reason to take these guys out, and two, it gives us lots of more space to build into to bring down. So I think that's what we're going to do. And I think we're going to do that next time. So thank you for watching. This has been Factorio Vanilla. And next time on episode 19, we'll actually start building our new and improved electric furnace array. So take care and see you later.